dito na tayo sa topic on air pollution, sorry. Air pollution. So, again, what is air pollution? Air pollution occurs when gases, dust particles, fumes, or smoke or odor are introduced into the atmosphere in a way that makes it harmful to humans, animals, and plants. So it is any addition of toxic chemicals, physical particles like dusts, smokes, smog sa ating atmosphere, which will have adverse or detrimental effect or health risks on living organisms. So, the introduction of harmful substances into the Earth's atmosphere is also one definition of air pollution. So these substances linger and cause many adverse effects. Many also includes the release of energy in the form of radioactivity or heat into bodies of water. So, bakit? Disregard this one. Into atmosphere yan dapat. Can be point source or non-point source or transboundary in nature. So, parehas ng sa water pollution. Air pollution may be on a point source or single source, or a non-point or several sources or non-traceable sources. So, yeah. Saan nanggagaling? So, bakit nagkakaroon tayo nito? So, according to the video I have presented before sa report ng National Geographic, it is mostly because of human activities since the rise of the industrial period, no, sa energy wars, no, sa energy race, kung saan lahat ng yung industry natin, yung economy thrives on burning of fossil fuel para magkaroon tayo ng electricity sa ating mga bahay, para i-power up yung homes, para i-power up yung other industries. So we rely on burning of fossil fuels to create electricity, energy. No? The rise of automobiles also, so the burning of gasoline, which contains hydrocarbons, which pollutes the air. When the piston engine was invented, so ito yung rason mainly kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng pollution. Minsan naman kasi meron din natural na air pollution na nangyayari because of the decay of organisms, the decay of organic matter, but mostly yung pollution na nakukuha sa atmosphere is from human activities. So, tingnan natin muna yung qualities ng air, kung bakit siya napopollute. Ano yung meron sa atmosphere? Ano yung meron anong meron sa atmosphere? So when I'm talking about the atmosphere, this is mainly the troposphere, kung saan important para sa living organisms, no? Not the full atmosphere per se, but the troposphere, so the lower level of the atmosphere. Air is composed by 78.09% nitrogen by volume, 20.95% oxygen, and 0.93% argon, 0.04% carbon dioxide, and trace amounts of other gases like neon, helium, methane, krypton, hydrogen, and so on. So it contains variable amounts of water vapor, on average around 1% at sea level and 0.4% over the entire atmosphere. So ito yung kabuuan na composition ng ating lower atmosphere. So these are the gases present sa atmosphere. So, air quality, it refers to the condition of air within our surroundings. Good air quality pertains to the degree which the air is clean, clear, and free from pollutants such as smoke, dust, and smog, among other gaseous impurities in the air. Air quality is determined by assessing a variety of pollution indicators. So, many organizations, especially government organizations, are setting up air quality facilities to measure how much pollutants are present in the atmosphere. So, para ma-measure kung okay pa ba, or sabihin natin, yeah, okay pa siya sa para i-breathe in ng organisms, especially ng tao, or there are certain chemicals na present na which will affect the uh, health of the people. So especially sa mga lugar kung saan may mga pabrika, like dito sa amin meron ditong malapit na pabrika, yung Good Found Cement, kung saan meron silang air quality facility na mini-measure kung ilan yung linalabas nila na yung dusts from the cement processing. So every now and then, every at least siguro twice a month, because I have a friend who had worked there. Sabi niya, twice a month kung mag-measure sila ng air quality, then binibigay nila ito sa DENR for reports. There, mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo yung example nito ng guidelines kung ilan kung ilan yung allowable na concentration ng pollutants sa ating atmosphere. So, Air Quality Index, used by the government agencies to communicate to the public how polluted the air currently is, or how polluted it is forecast to become. The higher the air quality index value, the greater the level of air pollution and the greater the health concern. So, sa US kasi nag-originate itong air quality index. So, mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung table nito. So, ito na mismo yung air quality index. So, there are certain measurements kung saan allowable yung air quality na pwede pa para sa tao, no? As you can see here in the table. So, may certain values din na katumbas kung ilang micrograms per volume ng atmosphere yung meron. So yeah, so air pollution or air pollutants are classified mainly into two. Wait lang. Sorry. Air pollutants are mainly classified into two. First, we have the primary pollutants, which is defined as gases or particles that are pumped into the air to make it unclean. They include carbon monoxide from automobiles, exhaust, and sulfur dioxide from the combustion of oil. So, ito yung, kumbaga, yung primary pollutants natin is yung pollutant galing mismo sa sources ng pollution. So, we have also here the secondary pollutants, which is a more deadlier, very redundant, or a deadlier combination of primary pollutants. So, secondary pollutants is when pollutants in the air mix up in a chemical reaction. They form an even more dangerous chemical. Photochemical smog is an example of this and is a secondary pollutant. So, if yung mga pollution from the primary pollutants is naghalo-halo na nagkaroon ng chemical reaction na nangyayari due to the exposure of sunlight, due to exposure to other chemicals na meron sa atmosphere. So, pag nagkaroon ng reaction, it will result in secondary pollutants, which is more dangerous than the primary pollutants. So, there are many causes of air pollution. So, first, we have emissions from industries. So, wastes, incinerators, manufacturing industries, and power plants emit high level of carbon monoxide, organic compounds, and chemicals into the air. So, bakit napaka dangerous ng carbon or hydrocarbons natin sa atmosphere? Because these hydrocarbons destroy the ozone, kung saan this is the protective layer of the earth from harmful UV rays, di ba? Then hydrocarbons also mix up with other chemicals na present na sa atmosphere, making it toxic, like for example yung photochemical smog, no? Na dangerous pag na-inhale ng tao living in halimbawa living in an urban area. So kapag yung smog is na-expose yung isang tao sa smog, this will result in health effects, na magkakaroon ng detrimental effects sa health ng tao, which will result in diseases or even death. So yeah, this happens almost everywhere that people live. Petroleum refineries also release lots of hydrocarbons into the air. So itong like what I have said earlier, itong unang cause ng pollution is from industries, from power plants, burning of fossil fuels, oil refineries, so yung mga ganun na industries. So next, we have the burning of fossil fuels. Emission from automobile engines contain both primary and secondary pollutants. This is a major cause of pollution and one that is very difficult to manage. This is because humans rely heavily on vehicles and engines for transporting people, goods, and services. Fumes from car exhausts contain dangerous gases such as carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen or nitrous oxides, hydrocarbons, and particulates. So, on their own, they cause great harm to people who breathe them. Additionally, they react with environmental gases to create further toxic gases. So, kaya baga the governments are applying certain guidelines on emissions. Kaya baga nagkakaroon tayo ng emission test sa ating mga masasakyan, sa motor, sa kotse, sa truck, sa bus. Kasi the government is trying to reduce air pollution from vehicles, no? Because especially sa panahon ngayon na kailangan ang vehicles natin because of our situation now. So yeah, para may gustong pumasok pa, wala naman siguro. Next, we have household farming and chemicals, crop dusting, fumigating homes, household cleaning products, and painting supplies, over-the-counter insect or pest killers, fertilizer dust emits harmful chemicals into the air and cause pollution. In many cases, when we use these chemicals at home or offices with no or little ventilation, we may fall ill if we breathe them in. So, yung ating chemicals from aerosols, kasama dito yung ating chemicals, yung aerosol chemicals natin from sa Lysol, even yung mga chemicals from hindi naman siguro chemicals, yung mga old models ng refrigerator na kung saan gumagamit pa sila ng ano yung tawag doon sa term na yun, wait lang. Bakit security of the internet? So yun nga, yung mga old models ng refrigerator kung saan yung mga motor or yung refrigerator mismo is nagre-release ng chlorofluorocarbons, which also destroys, it is a pollutant, gas that destroys also the ozone layer. So yeah, then leakage of these chemicals, we will have a health risk sa humans. For example, yung kung meron kayo nagli-leak na mga aerosol dyan sa bahay nyo, pwede kayong asphyxiate, or pwedeng sumabog din yung bahay nyo because of these particular chemicals. So yeah. Next, we have natural sources. So, this includes wind-blown dust particles, wildfires, and volcanic eruptions. So, yung mga yung dust from the earth's surface getting blown by the wind, no? May mga dust particles, yung mga particulate matters from dust particles from the surface of the earth being swept by the wind is from natural sources, no? Meron din tayo yung mga sulfates, hindi sulfates, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide from volcanic eruptions. This is naturally occurring pollutants in the air. So tapos mga hydrocarbons from burning of organic matter from forest fires. So these are pollutants in the air caused by natural disasters or natural causes. So I have listed here. So, wait lang. Ba't dito nakasama sa report? Anyway. So, yung sa types of sources naman, merong 4 ng sources yung na-research ko. Idagdag ko lang to. Wala kasi to dun sa module. So, we have mobile sources, or yung ating galing sa mga vehicles. Yung stationary sources, yung galing sa mga power plants, yung sa industries. Area sources, or galing sa mga agricultural areas, urban areas, woodland areas. So, and natural sources. So, ito yung depiction ng lahat ng sources of pollution na papunta sa atmosphere. So, yeah. I have listed here several types of chemicals chemicals that pollutes the air. So, common air pollutants, we have carbon monoxide, or CO. This is mostly coming from the combustion of gasoline from vehicles. What makes this deadly is because it reduces the amount of oxygen reaching the body's organs and tissues. Yung effect ng carbon monoxide kapag pumasok sa system ng tao, kasi since nasa ground level to, so dahil sa mga sasakyan, ito yung effect niya sa human physique. It reduces the amount of oxygen reaching in the blood's organs and tissues, aggravates the heart diseases resulting in chest pain and symptoms. So yeah. Ground level ozone. So meron din tayong tinatawag na ground level ozone from the reaction of nitrous oxides with sunlight. So it is a secondary pollutant formed by chemical reaction of volatile organic compounds and nitrous oxides in the presence of sunlight. So what makes it deadly to humans? It decreases lung function and causes respiratory symptoms such as coughing and shortness of breath. Kasi toxic to sa respiratory. Toxic ang ating ground level ozone. So toxic to sa pag nalanghap ng tao, may cause asphyxiation or the shutdown of our entire respiratory system kapag nalanghap. So this is a deadly type of gas. This is a odorless gas, by the way. So yeah. Next we have lead. How can this ang alam natin ang lead baga is a metal element. So how can this affect the air, the quality of air? So smelters and other metal industries, combustion of galing to sa mga metalworking shop, sa welding shop, sa smelting, yung paggawa ng bakal. So galing din to sa yung lead din is galing sa combustion of leaded gasoline. So yung ating diesel, in piston engine, aircrafts, waste incinerators, battery manufacturing. So ito yung sources ng lead pollution sa atmosphere. what happens is, it damages the developing nervous system. Ito naman, yung lead naman, damages the nervous system, resulting in IQ loss and impacts on learning. So, delikado to para sa mga babaeng buntis kapag nakatira yung, if, for example, yung a pregnant woman lives near a metal refinery workshop, metal refinery shop, or living near highways kung saan dinadaanan ng madaming trucks. So, this will result in a lower IQ level sa offspring niya kasi na-intake din kung ano yung pumapasok sa ina, 'di ba? Pumapapunta din sa bata. So, yeah. Impacts on learning, memory, and behavior in children. Cardiovascular and renal effects in adults, and early effects related to anemia. So, yeah. Next, we have nitrogen dioxide, or yung ating nitrogen dioxide. So, this is from fuel combustion, electric utilities, big industrial boilers, vehicles, and wood burning. So, the effect on this on humans is it worsens lung diseases, leading to respiratory symptoms, increased susceptibility to respiratory infection. So, yun. Yung nitrogen dioxide, hindi lang carbon monoxide ang meron sa pag-combust ng gasoline sa ating sasakyan, at also meron sulfur dioxide na kasama, tapos meron nitrogen dioxide na kasama din. So, yeah. Particulate matter, it is formed through chemical reactions, fuel combustion, for example, burning coal, wood, diesel, industrial processes, farming, plowing, field burning, and unpaved roads, or during road construction. Ano yung effect nito sa human physique? Short-term exposures can worsen heart or lung diseases and causes respiratory problems. Long-term exposures can cause heart or lung disease or sometimes premature death. So, yeah. Next, we have yung ating sulfur dioxide, comes from fuel combustion, especially high sulfur coal, electric utilities, and industrial processes, as well as natural occurrence like volcanoes. So, it aggravates asthma and makes breathing difficult. So, it also contributes to particle formation with associated health effects. So, isa din na effect ng sulfur dioxide is it makes precipitates, or it makes yung water vapor, it mixes with water vapor, making it acidic. So, yeah, causing acid rain, which damages buildings, crops, and contaminating also our water resources. So, ito din yung isang chemical na nagka-cause ng acid rain. Pati yung kasama na yung nitrogen dioxide, itong dalawang ito. So, next, we have, these are all about yung itong mga nabanggit ko kanina is what we call ambient pollution, or yung outdoor pollution natin. So, ito yung nasa labas ng common areas, ng bahay natin. So, kung saan na-expose yung tao. Pero, meron din tayong tinatawag na indoor pollution. So, indoor air pollution, air within a building such as your home, classroom, office, shopping centers, hospital, or gym. Indoor air pollution happens if indoor air is contaminated by smoke, chemicals, smells, or particles. Odors dapat, or particles. So, saan nanggagaling itong ating tinatawag na indoor pollution? So, from cigarettes. So, tobacco smoke from burning cigarettes, or exhaled smoke by people smoking. So, kaya bagay yung ating mga buildings is we are putting up signs na no smoking because it is indoor pollution. Then we all know the effects of first hand, second hand, and third hand smoke. Then smoke from tobaccos, smoke from cigarettes can linger inside a room for about 4 hours before it dissipates into the atmosphere bago mag-escape sa isang room. So, Kung malimbawa yung isang tao is naninigarilyo sa isang classroom or sa isang lugar, yung smoke or tapos yung chemicals from the cigarette lingers for 4 hours. So pwede pang maapektuhan yung taong pumasok doon within that time period. So yeah. Tapos alam na natin din yung health effects ng smoking, especially in second-hand and third-hand smoke. Next, we have biological pollutants, including allergens such as pollen, hair from pets, fungi, and some bacteria. Yeah, very self-explanatory. Ito yung mga organisms na microscopic organisms na nahalo sa air inside. Kasama na yung hindi pala kasi biological pollutants. Yung spores ng fungi. So pwedeng if alam niyo yun, yung nakalimutan ko kasi yung tawag sa sakit, but there was a case wherein parang nag-explore sa isang jungle, then nakapaglanghap ng spores ng isang mushroom or fungi. Tapos yung spores na yun is tumubo dun sa loob ng lungs nung tao, resulting to the death of that person. So, ihanapin ko ulit yon, kalimutan ko, naalala ko lang. So meron din tayong radon, a gas naturally emitted from the ground which can cause cancer when overexposed. Radon is from the decay of organisms. Carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless, poisonous gas produced when fuels such as gas, oil. Alam na natin ito kanina. So, ano yung effects ng air pollution? First is acidification. Sorry. Oh my God. Meron pala dito. Sorry. So, ito yung mga kalimitan na nakikita natin na polutan sa ating bahay. Nakalista dito kung saan na part ng bahay. For example, dito sa ating toilet, meron tayong mildew cleaning or cleaning chemicals natin, no? Like yung Zonrox. Boys, alam niyo to. Yung Zonrox, medyo yung amoy niya nakakaapekto sa paghinga natin. Sa bedrooms, yung dusts, yung mites, kung alam niyo to, yung microscopic insects to na nagko-cause kaya nagkakaroon ka ng butlig-butlig sa parang red dots sa katawan mo when you lie in your bed. This is because of mites. So yeah, ito yung nakalimutan ko yung i-flash to kanina. So what are the effects of air pollution? First, we have acidification. Chemical reactions involving air pollutants can create acidic compounds which can cause harm to vegetation and buildings. Sometimes when an air pollutant such as sulfuric acid combines with the water droplets that makes up clouds, the water droplets become acidic, forming acid rain. When acid rain falls over an area, it can kill trees and harm animal, fish, and other wildlife. So acid rain destroys the leaves of plants. When acid rain infiltrates into the soil, it changes the chemistry of the soil, making it unfit for many living things that depend on the soil as habitat or for nutrition. Acid rain also changes the chemistry of the lake and streams, and rainwater flows into rainwater flows into harming fish and other aquatic life. Ito yung effect ng isang effect ng air pollution. It makes rain acidic, or it is the cause of acid rain. So next, we have eutrophication. Rain carries and deposits the nitrogen in some pollutants or on rivers and soils. This will adversely affect the nutrients in the soil and bodies of water. This can result in algae growth in lakes and water bodies and make conditions for other living organisms harmful. So if we go back to our lesson on the nitrogen cycle, since may free nitrogen din sa lupa, sa atmosphere, then pag nag-precipitate, no, bumabagsak itong nitrogen sumasama sa ulan, no, tapos if bumagsak yung ulan sa isang agricultural site kung saan gumagamit ng artificial fertilizers and other chemicals to help the plants grow, nagiging nara-run off to yung excess na to, nara-run off papunta sa ating bodies of water, which causes algal blooms and eutrophication. So we all know this, we are very familiar with this. So next we have ground level ozone. Chemical reactions involving air pollutants create a poisonous gas, ozone, which can affect people's health and can damage vegetation types and some animal life too. Since hindi napaprocess ng katawan, organic organisms cannot process ozone as their source for oxygen, kasi yung oxygen na kailangan ng katawan natin is O2, yung oxygen gas, hindi ozone. So yeah. Particulate matter. Air pollutants can be in the form of particulate matter, which can be very harmful to our health. The level of effect usually depends on the length of the time of exposures, as well as the kind and concentration of chemicals and particles exposed to. Short-term effects include irritation to the eyes, nose, and throat, and upper respiratory infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia. Others includes headaches, nausea, allergic reactions. Short-term air pollution can aggravate the medical conditions of individuals with asthma and emphysema. Long-term health effects can include chronic respiratory disease, lung cancer, heart disease, and even damage to the brain, nerves, liver, or kidneys. Continual exposure to air pollution affects the lungs of growing children and may aggravate or complicate medical conditions in the elderly. So, very kung iisipin, very nakakatakot nga dito. I think meron sa India, there was a man na nagbebenta ng pure oxygen sa halagang, nakalimutan ko yung diba? Yung even air now is purified air, binibenta na din. So if you're familiar with the movie The Lorax ata yun, so makita natin dun yung effect ng pagputol ng puno, no, because of the demand of the sweater made by the protagonist, the protagonist there. So makita natin dun yung isang lalaki doon, si O'Hare, is nagbebenta ng yung parang nakalagay sa galon ng tubig, pero ang laman is oxygen. So sooner or later baka ganun din yung mangyari sa atin because of the effects of pollutions, especially air pollution. So kung wala kayong copy nun, download nyo lang. So ano yung pwede nating gawin para ma-mitigate itong air pollution? We are implementing laws, especially here in the Philippines. We are implementing the Clean Air Act, or the RA 9275, I think it's 9275, which is the Philippine Clean Air Act of 2004, which mitigates health, which is implemented especially to industrial sectors, to sa ating urban areas, na ma-mitigate yung pollutants na nire-release nila sa atmosphere. Kaya baga we are putting up emission testing centers, or industries are putting up air quality facilities to test the quality of the air they are, or the quality of pollutants they are releasing, para if they can pass, or if they can pass the test, if pwede. So I've listed also here different kinds of mitigation practices that we can do as a member of our planet. So here are some of what we can do to help mitigate air pollution. First is renewable and clean energy production. The most basic solution for air pollution is to move away from fossil fuels, replacing them with alternative energies like solar, wind, and geothermal. Since we are solely our energy, electricity are solely dependent sa panahon natin ngayon, we are solely dependent on these types of 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 production from burning of fossil fuels. So one thing that can stop this from but lessen the effects of burning of fossil fuels is by transferring or by transitioning from burning of fossil fuels to eco-friendly energy sources like yung ating hydroelectric energy or hydroelectric power plants, or yung sa Ilocos yung ating windmills, or sa yung ating solar farms na tinatawag, no? So these are solutions for a greener energy source. So even though mahal itong mga facilities na to, but it can save generations upon generations to come para ma-enjoy pa ng mga maging anak natin itong planeta. We must transfer to these types of technologies. Next, we have eco-friendly transport systems, shifting to electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles, promoting shared mobility or carpooling and public transport could reduce air pollution. So ngayon marami nang lumalabas ng mga electric cars, or if we have heard about the Philippine inventor who had invented a jeepney that runs on water. So that was year 2000 or mid 2000s ata, if ma-recall nyo, or if nalaman nyo to. Merong isang Filipino inventor, isang tsuper na nakapag-invento ng isang makina na which runs on water. Hindi na kailangan ng gasolina, ng diesel para makapagbiyahe, but solely on tubig lang talaga. So these are some examples of vehicles that could help save our planet. So, yeah. Meron na tayong yung Tesla ni Elon Musk. Meron mga sports car model na electric car. So next on the list, we have responsible manufacturing activities. Governments are also forcing companies to be more responsible in their manufacturing activities so that even though they still cause pollution, they are a lot controlled. Kaya, in-explain ko na ito kanina. Next, we have green building. What is green building? From planning to demolition, green building aims to create environmentally responsible and resource-efficient structures to reduce their carbon footprint. So, less na yung paggamit ng building materials na from factories which releases hydrocarbons. Next, we have energy conservation and efficiency. So ito yung pwede natin mismo sa ating mga bahay, pwede nating gawin. So reduce our consumption of energy by adopting responsible habits and using more efficient devices. So, for example, pag aalis kayo sa bahay, you should unplug everything, no, para hindi makapag-consume ng electricity. No? Furthermore, yung ating mga electronic devices sa bahay, like yung ating TV, yung ating ilaw, kung hindi naman ginagamit, i-turn off para makapag-save din. First, makapag-save tayo sa babayaran na sa kuryente, and next is para ma-save natin yung energy na hindi na waste, no? Hindi na waste. Kaya nga energy efficiency. And we have recycling and reusing. Minimize the dependence on product on producing new things. Manufacturing industries, this industries create a lot of pollution. So, yeah. So, yun lang naman ang tungkol sa ating air pollution. So,